What if scientists have been hiding the greatest threat to humanity? I'm Ruth Leedy Carr, and for over 40 years, evidence has mounted of a coming polar shift, a secret buried in the words of Asimov and Sagan, and in the mysterious glowing poles of a hollow Mars.
Hello, folks. I am Ruth Leedy Carr, author of Polar Hole Light in Europe's Clouds and Tipping Point for a Hollow Earth. In this episode, hosted by Explora Books, we finish with my report entitled Open Poles, the Secret Path of Their Coming Destruction. In Isaac Asimov's book titled Foundation's Edge, this message can be spelled, quote, "One edge of the United States is soon going to go into sea," unquote. In Janov Pellerat from that novel, we can find, "Tell people to leave Japan, never to return," and return is spelled R-E-T-E-R-N, unquote. A related message can be found with Pellerat's traveling companion, Golan Trevize, as follows. "Try not to agonize too long over leaving, never to return," and once again, R-E-T-E-R-N, unquote. In Janov Pellerat Bliss, the message may be, quote, "I strive to be a savior to Japanese people," unquote. Similarly, in Joramus Palver Stettin from Forward the Foundation, we can find, quote, "I, Asimov, strive to serve as savior to Japanese people in pole reversal," unquote. In Hironaga Matsui, Japan, Carl Sagan in his novel Contact may have presented this message, quote, "Ruth Ann is right. Giant tsunamis are soon going to jar Japan as Earth's rotation shifts." And R is spelled A-R, and Earth is spelled I-R-T-H, and shift is spelled S-H-I-P-H-T, unquote. Asimov's character name, Tejan Popjens Lih, that's L-I-H, from Forward the Foundation, can obviously spell the name of his wife, Janet Jepson, the first two names of that. But a message about Japan can be found here as follows. Quote, "Japan shall soon slip into the sea. I hope all people help the Japanese," unquote. The phrase, "lest we all," that's A-L, "lest we all die, die, die," unquote, can be added because these words appear in order in a list of letters adjacent to periods in the section where Judge Lih is introduced. That is Part 4, Section 26. The final phrase here must refer to the fact that if the Japanese are caught unprepared by the shift in the equatorial bulge, there will be unsecured radioactive materials and other toxic deposits that will escape into the environment. This warning applies to the need to aid people in all threatened areas ahead of the cataclysm. The US Geological Survey had an invitation in 1992 to inform lawmakers about a coming reversal of the Earth's magnetic field in relation to an axis shift when Senator Joseph Biden referred a report of mine to the agency. I had quoted ozone hole expert Susan Solomon in this headline, quote, "Earth may have some surprise. Will there be a catastrophe? We're not sure," unquote. She had been reported by the Wilmington News Journal as saying it is risky to load up the atmosphere with chlorine because chlorine magnifies the damage done by volcanic ash. A rare catastrophe could be disastrous, she had said. I included a hypothetical interview in which I tried to get her to admit that in speaking of a catastrophe, she had been thinking of a geomagnetic field reversal, not just a huge volcanic eruption. I also suggested a shift in polar openings on a hollow Earth. Her hypothetical replies were evasive, inconclusive. The Geological Survey reply to Senator Biden, dated July 1st, accused me of assuming or postulating a rapid reversal and shift of the magnetic poles. A catastrophe may seem rapid as it is happening, but I have never said it would be over quickly. The letter assured Senator Biden that there is no hole at the North Pole and concluded by saying, quote, "We agree with her that the Earth may have some surprises for us yet, but we do not believe an impending major cataclysm due to a rapid magnetic polar shift in the near term is one of them," unquote. This statement is not a denial that some sort of cataclysm is coming fairly soon. Now let us go back to the riddle message that begins, I, Asimov, say. This is from Endomandio Vizamarondeiazo, that's ENDOMANDIOVIZAMARONDEYASO, in Foundation's Edge. I initially thought that Endomen was a message stating that mankind was going to end or be in danger of ending. After some years of working on this off and on, I decided that the syllable Mar was a sign that Asimov was talking about Mars. The syllable Dom, D-O-M, could be a clue pointing to the word doom. Asimov could be saying as follows, quote, I, Asimov, say Mars is doomed and may end soon, unquote. This can be supported by other riddles, including Limar Panyet's from Foundation, his novel of 1951. Here we can find, quote, Mars is not yet limp, unquote. This can be expanded to read, Mars is not yet totally limp. Its rotation is too slow, may stop in not many more years, unquote. The solar wind is funneled to the magnetic poles of Earth where it sets off changes in the rate of rotation, especially when this powerful force is intensified by solar storms. This information showing that rotation is supported by the solar wind comes from the Jupiter effect by John Gribben and Stephen Plagman. Mars gets no such support for rotation because its magnetic poles, where the solar wind's force used to be focused, have died away. Quote, I, Isaac Asimov, am positive Mars is about to go limp, crumple, collapse, unquote. And there's no E at the end of positive or crumple or collapse. This is from Alastair Tobago Crump, VI, in Logic is Logic. In Marianne Lipsky from Murder at the ABA, Asimov appears to have said, Carl S. scans sky, says Mars is limp, can collapse. And Carl is spelled with a K, scans is spelled with a K, and can is spelled with a K, and collapse is K-A-L-L-A-P-S, collapse, unquote. This must refer to Carl Sagan scanning the sky as an astronomer. In Sagan's novel Contact, a message about Mars can be found in The Martial Needlein as follows. Mars shall end, and its inner star shall threaten the Earth, unquote. NASA has detected a distant planet shaped like a collapsed football, according to an all-too-brief announcement from NPR in 2024. Quote, Mars end nears, unquote. This statement can be found in Mandress from Foundation's Edge. Earth is threatened by a star, the existence of which has been kept secret in Asimov's novel Nemesis. The names Mary, Tessa, and Renee from this novel can be found in a list of letters adjacent to commas and apostrophes from his story Frustration. The heroine or star of the novel Nemesis has a name beginning with Mar, and she too is heading for Earth after settling near the secret star Nemesis. The Hollow Earth theory receives a double endorsement with two names from Perfectly Formal in Asimov's story Cow. A coming shift in polar holes is also described in both these character names. Quote, Hollow planet Earth will be reborn with a new hole at each pole. Ruth Ann L. can prove that better than I can, unquote. Ruth is spelled with R-O-O-T-H, and I guess the rest of the spelling is correct. Okay, this statement can be found in Winthrop Carver Cabwell, whose reversal from neatness to sloppiness may reflect a coming reversal and shift in the planetary magnetic field. He shifts away from his fiancée, Hortense Hepzibah Lowett, in whose name we can find. Ruth Ann L. realizes that hollow planet Earth will soon be reborn with two new polar holes, unquote. Once again, Ruth is spelled R-O-O-T-H. My 1983 book was entitled Rebirth of a Planet, though Saucerian Press, renamed New Age Press, republished it under a new title, The Hollow Earth at the End Time. To find hollow planet Earth in two linked names by coincidence would be statistically out of the question. Could not happen. When LOAD is called frontally concave, this reminds us of the concave inner surface of a hollow planet's outer shell. Ruth, quote, Ruth L. knows this Earth is hollow, unquote. Ruth is spelled R-O-O-T-H. Earth is spelled I-R-T-H. And nose is spelled N-O-S. And that actually is a word. Okay, this is from Wilson Ross in The Robots of Dawn. Also in this novel, there is the top planetary official, Ruth Horder, in whose name we can find, quote, Ruth N. Leedy, you hold a hollow Earth in your hand. Leedy is spelled with I at the end instead of Y, and U is spelled capital U, and hollow is spelled without the W, and Ur is spelled U-R. Horder does hold Earth's future in his hand through a verdict he has to issue. Quote, Ruth Ann's a brain, knows the Earth be hollow. Unquote. Ruth is spelled R-O-O-T-H, Ann's is spelled with a Z at the end. Brain is B-R-A-N-E, and nose is spelled N-O-Z-E. Hollow has no W. This is from Harla Brano de Bronze in Foundation's Edge. Brano is a planetary head of state who is suspected of being under enemy influence. She is told, you could be a hollow shell with a second Foundation content, unquote. For one who represents a planet politically, to be called a hollow shell is a tremendous hollow planet hint. Also from this novel, in Littoral Thubing Seychelles, that's Littoral Thoobing Sayshell, we find, quote, the Earth is a hollow shell orbiting a little star, as Ruth Ann L. says. Hollow is spelled without the W. Ruth is spelled R-O-O-T-H. This structure is also found in the planetary nebula, as Marshall Gardner pointed out. The Encyclopedia Britannica, 1974, confirms this by saying, quote, H.D. Curtis of the Lick Observatory, found in 1918 that oblate, spheroidal, or truncated shells, thinner at the equator than at the poles, accounted satisfactorily for the appearance of many planetaries, unquote. This implies that a hollow Earth's shell would also be thinnest at the equator. This would explain why the axis is not pulled permanently upright by the sun's gravity acting upon the bulging equatorial region. Powerful earthquakes are said to make the entire planet ring like a bell. A hollow planet would be more likely to vibrate like a hollow bell vibrates than would a solid planet. Asimov's Dr. Earth mystery entitled The Singing Bell appears to be making a hollow planet statement along this line. The planetary nebula's structure obviously allows the rotation of the orbiting shell to be supported, or we wouldn't even find these structures in the sky. Under the solid Earth theory, scientists have had difficulty explaining the Earth's rotation. Some experts suggest that rotation has been coasting since the planet solidified from a nebular state in a process that somehow generated a lot of spin. This hypothesis ignores the fact that Earth's rotation is not coasting, as shown by variations in its speed of rotation in response to increases in solar wind strength following solar storms. These variations indicate that the solar wind is a constant force supporting rotation, even when there are no solar storms. If scientists were to admit that the solar wind powers the Earth's rotation, then they would be unable to explain what holds the axis steady during this process. The hollow Earth theory allows the solar wind to define the axis by striking in a circle surrounding it, as shown by photos of the auroras, while also powering rotation by striking most strongly at a magnetic pole located on that circle. The existence of polar holes creates enough separation between the axis and the nearby magnetic pole so that the solar wind's impact, when it is funneled to the magnetic pole, is far enough from the axis to drive rotation. Without polar holes, the solar wind should define an axis located at exactly or virtually the same spot as the magnetic pole itself, meaning that the solar wind's force would not drive rotation. Since that force evidently does drive rotation, the Earth cannot be solid. If the solid Earth theory will not enable us to see why the Earth rotates and why the axis and magnetic poles do not coincide, the theory has failed us, and we are entitled to cast it aside. It looks as though we must all push for this and not depend on the ability of scientists to establish the truth. Quote, "I are not free," unquote. That's EYE, capital R. This can easily be found in Tyrone Free, who is a prisoner in Carl Sagan's novel. In Theodore F. Arroway, Eleanor, Sagan expands on this message as follows, quote, "Ruth Leedy, you are free to defend the hollow earth theory. I are not free to do that," unquote. Ruth is spelled R-O-O-T-H. U is spelled Y-E-W. And I is spelled E-Y-E. His book title, Broke His Brain, sounds like broke his brain, as I noted in my early books. Quote, "Brain could be broken and I could die," unquote. Could is spelled C-O-O-D. Okay, and that's it. This is from Ian Broderick in Sagan's novel. An SOS sign made of dots and dashes can be found in a conversation between Broderick and the heroine. On page 80, line 11, there are 3 dots, and 4 lines later, there are 3 more dots. In between these potential examples of the letter S in Morse code, there are 3 short dashes, which that's how you make the letter O. We can be sure the SOS sign is genuine because dots and dashes are referred to in this passage. Quote, "SOS, the Earth's axis is due to shift. This is a secret. I could die if I said this," unquote. Axis is spelled A-C-S-I-S. Do is spelled D-O. Could is spelled C-O-O-D. We can find all this in the Sossafer Chazids. That's S-O-S-S-A-F-E-R-C-H-A-S-I-D-S. One of many groups in Sagan's novel that are anticipating a possible doomsday or Earth axis shift on account of a message beamed to Earth from space. Stefan Alexeyevich Baruda, who issues a doomsday warning of his own, appears to convey this message, quote, "Ruth Leedy understands that a field reversal shall cause the Earth's axis to be shifted by the sun in the near future," unquote. This quotation includes the words Earth axis shift as well as field reversal. It's quite remarkable. The Earthman Palmer Joss dies and is reborn in this novel, and also causes movement in a long cable attached to a pendulum. This is likely a dramatization of Earth axis shifting. His name may be telling us, quote, "Mars poles are large lamps," that's L-A-R-J-E, unquote. Asimov may have commented on the lighting of Mars through Maurice Winters in the Lucky piece as follows, quote, "You can't see ice in Martian winter night." U is spelled capital U, and night is spelled N-I-T-E, unquote. Likewise, in Cheryl Winter Lewis Martand from Take a Match, we find, quote, "You cannot see ice in winter darkness on Mars. You can see the inner sun's light through a hole." Darkness is spelled with a C instead of a K, and light is spelled L-I-T-E, and through is spelled T-H-R-U. Secrecy about this and many other matters is evidently enforced by a ruler named Azazel. Quote, "Azazel rules unseen," unquote. This is from Lanel Russ in Prelude to Foundation. That's L-A-N-E-L-R-U-S-S. In his partner's name, Gabor Astenwald, we find, quote, "Azazel rules world by bending and tearing brains," unquote. Bi is spelled B-I, and rules is spelled R-O-O-L-S. In Hubert Mandel from The Dying Night, a Dr. Earth mystery, we see, quote, "To rule the earth, you need to learn to bend and tear the human brain." To is spelled T-U, U is spelled capital U, and brain is spelled B-R-A-N-E. The demon Azazel is featured in The Critic on the Hearth, where Asimov has placed Azel in the name of Lucius Lamar Hazeltine. In this name we can find, quote, "It is clear that Earth's ruler Azazel hates the human race," unquote. Asimov assures us that, quote, "this battle with Azazel is winnable," unquote, a message contained in Hannibal West from The Dim Rumble. Similarly, in Corwin Attlebish from The Naked Sun, Asimov has apparently said, "This battle with Azazel, to show that the Earth is hollow with a star at its center, is winnable." Okay, Asimov advises through H. Seton Davenport in the Dr. Earth Mysteries, quote, "To save the Earth, one needs to prove that Earth has a star at center," unquote. Center is spelled with an S instead of a C. Davenport has a star-shaped scar. The battle to prove the truth is important because we have to show our courage and intelligence to rulers in the inner Earth who are quite different from us and naturally tend to think of us as inferior and therefore not worthy to survive. Several more riddles from Asimov. Quote, "Millions doomed to die in an axis shift," unquote. This is from Flaxated Hismodinem in Wine is a Mocker. Quote, "The Earth's axis shall be shifted by the sun in under 100 years," unquote. This is from Synnax the Blue Drift in Foundation, a 1951 novel. Quote, "Axis migration is near," unquote. This is from Santirix Gremionis in The Robots of Dawn. Thank you all for listening in on this podcast series, and thanks to Explora Books for hosting it. My books are available through Barnes & Noble and other distribution channels, as well as Amazon. Thanks for listening. So long for now. Bye.